Hall. I'm the staff attorney with Save the Bay. And we thank Senator Gu and others on this committee for sponsoring this piece of legislation. In our coastal communities, and actually in some of our riverine communities, but particularly our coastal communities, right now, there are already about 67 miles of our coastal roadways experiencing what's called nuisance flooding. That's just flooding during high tide. Could be a sunny day, but they're experiencing nuisance flooding, and nuisance flooding can be very expensive for communities relative to maintenance. In addition to that, over 175 more miles of roadway. This is by a study by the statewide planning study, where 175 miles are subject to risks from sea level rise, and another 570 miles of our Rhode Island roadways along the coast are at risk for damage from storm surge. So as Senator Gu outlined, there's only a couple of choices. You can maintain these roadways, and in fact, most towns are committed to doing that at some great expense. You could also elevate and relocate those roadways, again at significant expense. We're talking about the point in time when municipalities no longer want to exercise those choices, and abandonment is on the table. Once abandoned, these roadways are converted to private property, and they are no longer accessible for non-vehicular traffic. It's not just that they're not accessible to vehicular, they're not passable at all by members of the public on foot, walking, bicycle riding, or simply engaging in passive recreation, and as Senator Gu stated, sort of engaging with nature. So this bill provides a third option, a qualified abandonment by option of the community that no longer wants to invest in the maintenance required to maintain these roads in passable condition for vehicles. This qualified abandonment creates a public easement that would allow for pedestrian traffic only. The town does, with this qualified abandonment, the town does maintain an obligation to maintain it just for those specific uses chosen by the municipality. So for example, there would be no need to maintain asphalt or pavement. And in fact, in those conditions, particularly along the shore, those pathways last longer. Without the impervious surface area, without the constant need to maintain asphalt and pavement, you have a condition that is pervious to the ocean and flooding and storm surge, which absorbs those coastal waters, and those pathways actually retain their usability by passerbyers, by pedestrians on foot for a much longer period of time at almost no maintenance whatsoever to the community relative to cost. So Save the Bay supports this legislation. We have supported it consistently as it's been introduced. It was introduced last year as part of a suite of public access bills. And again, I thank you very much for the opportunity to support this bill today. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the testimony. Any questions for